Two things, Rochelle. First of all, yes, as you say, it's a victory for the victims, but it's also an unprecedented decision by the French courts. This is the first time that a Roman Catholic archbishop has been found guilty of failing to denounce acts of paedophilia within the Catholic Church. Now, just to give you a bit of an historical background on this dates back to the 80s and 90s by a priest who was called Father Perrenat, who was accused of abusing Boy Scouts that he was in charge of while he was a priest in the church. He still hasn't been tried for those crimes, but he has admitted that he did commit abuse on these boys back then. Now, where does Archbishop Barbarin come into this story? He became the Archbishop of Lyon in 2002, and he was made aware of this sexual abuse in 2005, and instead of calling the police in to do an investigation, he contacted the Vatican in Rome to ask for information about it. They said, you need to get this priest placed somewhere else. So Father Perrenat was moved elsewhere. Then he was also given a promotion, still allowed to be in contact with young boys. And it was only after this situation became more known, when some of the victims started speaking, that Cardinal Barbarin was questioned as to why he hadn't called in the police and only warned the Vatican in Rome about this. And only in 2015, when one of the scouts actually decided to take the church to court over this, was Cardinal Barbarin himself forced to appear in court, and the verdict given today. So the big question now that everybody is asking is, where is this going to leave Archbishop Barbarin as far as his future is concerned in the church? He's been given this sentence. He's going to appeal against it. But what is the reaction going to be from the Roman Catholic Church in Rome? Will he be allowed to continue being Archbishop of Lyon, or will he be forced to stand down from that position?
I mean, in terms of reactions from Barbarin's legal team, they've said very clearly that they intend to appeal the ruling. You spoke about an unprecedented ruling. There was this sense, or there will be some who have been surprised that an actual conviction was made for such a high-profile figure. Well,
it's not the first time. We had just last month a cardinal archbishop in the United States, Theodore McCarrick, who was also dismissed from his functions by the Pope, and he has been banned from any role within the Catholic Church at all. One gets the impression that at last things are starting to move in the Catholic Church, and what in the old days would have been swept under the carpet is now no longer being so, and the Church is coming to terms with this and trying to show face and say, OK, now we know this has been going on, we're taking the necessary action. You have the case of McCarrick in the United States, and of course last month this unprecedented meeting of bishops, which was held in Rome by Pope Francis, to actually discuss the subject of paedophilia and child abuse within the Catholic Church, and to work out some kind of rules that should be taken to stop this from continuing. Many of those who've been abused, support groups for victims, say that even though the Catholic Church is taking some steps, it still is not going nearly far enough to stamp this out.
OK, well, Philip Tallis is, of course,